Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Well, good evening and welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I hope everyone has enjoyed their beautiful Sunday out here in North Mississippi, whether that was just hanging out inside, hanging out outside, watching some football. I know we have some Cowboys fans that have always been in the chat, so I know y'all won earlier today, I think by a good bit and a good margin. So I hope everyone has a great Sunday. I'm excited to watch my Bills play later on today, but I'm excited to give y'all the good news, and that is that the rain is almost here. We have been talking about this all weekend. It's been beautiful here in North Mississippi. Don't get me wrong, we love the beautiful conditions, but also with it being our dry season, we are wanting some rain, but it is almost here. And this isn't just a tonight, later on in the evening sort of thing. We need that umbrella not only ready for your Monday, but even into your Tuesday as well. We will have a soggy start to the work week. So no one really likes Monday mornings, those dreary Monday mornings. It might also be a soggy, dreary one as well, but we're finally getting rainfall. At least we can find the positive in that as well. But fall conditions will return. That's later on in the back half of the work week, kind of what I was talking about last night with how we have a nice back half of it. But our weekend, or next coming weekend, is looking really nice as far as now with those weather conditions. Finally, to see some of those fall seasonable temperatures return, it is going to feel great here in North Mississippi. Just got to get through the work week first, and we still got a ways to go. So let's just enjoy the last bit of the weekend before we get into the work week. Let's take a live look out here in Greenville right now. 88 degrees, feels like 88, but one thing I've noticed in all these cameras that I've put in is that wind, pretty much double digits in all the different locations we're going to look at. 13-mile-per-hour winds coming out of the east, but we can already see, compared to the days we've had for our Friday and Saturday, a lot more moisture and cloud cover in our atmosphere. Definitely a good sign for things to come as we wrap up our Sunday and get ready for our Monday. Same thing out here in Amory, 81 degrees, feels like 82. Well, now it's embarrassing me. Single digit winds around 7 miles per hour, still coming out of the east, but definitely some more cloud cover. And I saved this one for the last just because it is the best one that we have seen in a long time. Let's take a live look out here in Macon, looking at those dark clouds, some showers off in the distance. It is a beautiful sight to see here in North Mississippi. None of this is severe. It's just nice to see those rain clouds and storms make their way through into North Mississippi. Again, 75 degrees, 6-mile-per-hour winds coming out of the east, but eventually, we're going to see this start moving closer and closer towards North Mississippi. This is looking southwest, so not really in our area yet. I know there were some showers happening around Louisville, south of Louisville, but not really affecting us here in North Mississippi yet. We got to get through the next few hours. And we can track that out here with the first 12, showing those dry conditions on the front half, around 81 degrees by 7 o'clock, cooling off towards the mid-70s by 10. But once we cross into midnight and see those AM hours, we're going to start seeing rain chances paired along with them as well. 10% by 1, and then they kind of just gradually increase and stay around 20 to 30. And you're going to notice throughout this broadcast, they kind of stick around the 30%, maybe try to get up to 40 as we go throughout our Monday. It's not really an organized system making its way through, just a bunch of pop-up showers making their way all across North Mississippi, trying to give everyone a chance. But we're going to see continuous rainfall, not only for the start of our Monday, but into the rest of our afternoon and evening as well. We're going to track all of that out here coming up later in the broadcast. But let's take a live look out here with the Mississippi Live Weather Radar. Most of the time we have nothing to look at here, but thankfully we are starting to see some green pop up at the bottom here. Pretty much a little bit coming down in Louisville right now, some outside of Macon, nothing substantial right now, but definitely showing that we are seeing some rainfall start to make its way through. Let's put it on a 3-hour loop just to see it start coming in. There we go. And this is something I do want to point out. The closer it gets towards our viewing area, it almost starts drying up as well, starts to dissipate. That's going to be the trend we see as we wrap up our evening. So that's why I'm holding off on those rain chances into our 10 o'clock broadcast time, 11 o'clock, 12. I think the more chances and more confident chances we have for rainfall will be later on into those early AM hours. But I do expect a few of these sprinkles to make its way into the most southern part of our viewing area as we get closer and closer into the evening. But we really need these rainfall chances to kind of start increasing and stay around for a while, especially into our Monday and Tuesday, because I mean, this sums up our dry season perfectly. This is the percent of normal precip that we've gotten within the past 30 days, and it is substantially below 100% for a good portion of our viewing area. The further north you go in our viewing area, you can kind of see an increase. We can even just populate some of these values. 152% up there just north of Interstate 22. But for those in Corinth, around 79%, Tupelo, 70%. But the Delta struggling 25%. Let's go Greenwood, 42, Chula, 33. Out here in Louisville, who's getting some showers right now, definitely much needed, 11%. So we are definitely in our dry season. This is what we expect all the time once we make it into our October and start of November months. we're prepared for it, but definitely when we get those rain chances, we do not take them for granted here in North Mississippi. So let's check out what the rest of the evening looks like. You can see most of those rain chances are south of us into central Mississippi and the southern portions of our state into Alabama as well, pretty much just along the Gulf Coast. But as we continue into the evening, those rain chances are going to try to push into North Mississippi, clipping the southern part of our viewing area. But all those showers you saw already faded on out, dried on out, not really seeing much by the time we reach midnight. Most of those chances are still south into southern Mississippi. But once we transition into more of those AM hours, those chances will increase and become more consistent as we go through our overnight hours. So maybe some of us will be lucky enough to hear maybe a rumble or two overnight, not expecting many or active storms with this, or nothing severe, but definitely some localized heavy downpours as well with some of these more intense showers trying to give us some rain, but that'll continue into your early morning hours for your Monday as well. So definitely going to want to have that umbrella when you get started for your Monday. But looking at the next 24, it is a whole lot of rain, and this is a great sight to see compared to what we have seen earlier this weekend. Starting off around 70 degrees with a 30% chance early on in the morning, and you can see where those rain chances were really favorable in our viewing area, and they're going to continue all day long, kind of dipping between the 30, 20, maybe certain hours trying to jump up to 40%, but pretty much stay consistent throughout your entire Monday, seeing temperatures try to go up towards the low 80s for our highs tomorrow before we start cooling off, already seeing some of those upper 70s pop back in during the 5 and 6 o'clock broadcast time. And then by the time we get towards that 10 o'clock, we might see some low 70s as well. Those rain chances still trying to move on through North Mississippi as well. But I keep mentioning about those chances, only at 20%, 30%, when they could affect you. I'm going to give you an in-depth look on not only what this evening looks like as we wrap up our weekend, but all those rain chances into your Monday and Tuesday as well, coming up in 1 minute.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
Growing up, Gabe was naturally curious. When he began to discover weather, Gabe just didn't want to know what was happening, but he wanted to know why it was happening. Gabe became fascinated with tornadoes, and it impacted his life. He wanted to pursue a career in meteorology. Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Caleb Edelblut.
Well, thanks for sticking here with us at Mississippi Live Weather at 6. Let's continue taking some looks out across North Mississippi. A lot of more moisture in our atmosphere with cloud cover. Most of our weekend has been pretty clear skies. We're starting to see that cloud cover start to come back in just a little bit more out here in Caledonia. 83 degrees, feels like 84, and there we go. There's some more of that double digits coming back into play. Easterly winds coming out of the east around 11 miles per hour. Can see a little bit shaking in the camera, just showing how breezy it is out there. That's been the trend I've seen across most of these cameras here in North Mississippi. Let's take a look out here in Pontotoc as well. There we go, 14 mile per hour winds coming out of the east. 81 degrees, feels like 82. I always love this camera because this just gives off fall vibes to me. Can already kind of see some of the colors changing across the trees. I'm excited to see what these look like later on in October and November. The sun's starting to set. This just gives me that fall aesthetic. Would love to get those fall conditions here in North Mississippi, but we're getting there. Got to get through the work week first. But taking a look at the day planner as we wrap up our weekend, get ready for the work week. We're seeing temperatures around 79 degrees by 8 o'clock, but we're going to continue cooling off. And then there's those spotty rain showers around 11 o'clock still. Could affect the lucky few in the most southern portion of our viewing state, maybe in Attala, Winston, Noxubee County. But by the time we get towards those AM hours, those chances will start to increase just a little bit as we have a pretty soggy overnight period getting ready for our Monday morning. So let's track that out here on Futurecast, try to visualize it. Still, that easterly wind, that's been blowing across North Mississippi all weekend long pretty much, and we can already see some of those spotty showers trying to give us some, I guess, pre-activity, not really prefrontal. None of this is associated with the cold front. This is still just some moisture coming up from the Gulf. There are some of those rain showers trying to affect those, maybe in the Golden Triangle region by 10 o'clock, even in the southern portions of the Delta as well. But still, very spotty in nature. Most of us are going to see drier skies as we're getting ready to head to bed tonight. But once we cross midnight and into those AM hours, we see that other batch of moisture really stay consistent, pushing on up into North Mississippi, not really drying on out and fading. You can see a soggy start to our Monday morning commute across North Mississippi. Low temperatures a lot warmer than what they were earlier on this week. I think our Friday night lows, or no, Saturday night lows into our Friday night lows into our Saturday morning, we're in the upper 50s. So this is technically a good thing to see. It's not as cool, but that shows that there's more moisture in our atmosphere. Definitely a sign for those rain chances to keep on increasing as we get ready for our Monday. So pretty much upper 60s, low 70s all across North Mississippi. But since it's Sunday night, got to put in that school day graphic to get ready for the work week. I know I will be getting ready for all my 8 a.m.s this week, and it will be a soggy start to our Monday morning. Round drop off, 30% chance of rainfall, 71 degrees. Warm on up towards the low 80s, thankfully, by the time you're getting ready to pick up the kids and they are getting dropped off from the school bus, but still pretty a constant chance of rainfall throughout all of North Mississippi for the chances on evening, showing some localized heavy downpours out there in Greenville, Jula, Greenwood. So hopefully that can help cool y'all off just a little bit as I'll get ready for y'all's Monday evening. That next batch of moisture is going to move across North Mississippi, giving us some more chances of rainfall. And then into our Tuesday early morning hours, we're going to still see another batch of thunderstorms and just showers making their way through. I feel like thunderstorms might be a little bit of a reach, but still some heavy downpours. And I know someone in our comments, I think yesterday, I didn't get to answer it in time, was asking if we have a cold front moving through. There you go. There's that shadow of it starting to make its way through. Not the strongest cold front that we would say. It is going to be responsible for our chances of rain on Tuesday. And then there we go. It's going to start making its way across North Mississippi Tuesday afternoon. I think it'll enter our state in the early morning, or not early morning hours, but around the morning before lunchtime. And we're going to see that line of storms kind of making its way through North Mississippi, and that's why I have on the 7-day forecast a little bit higher of a chance of rainfall for our Tuesday. I think it'll be more meaningful before we start seeing drier conditions once we wrap up Tuesday and go into our Wednesday, which is why those chances for Wednesday have dropped slightly. I do think maybe we could see some showers into the early morning hours for Wednesday, but right now looking pretty dry as we wrap up those few days. But high temperatures on your Tuesday, a little bit more elevated, but you can definitely tell some spots pretty much 80 across Red Bay, Iuka, Boonville, Corinth, Holly Springs. That's pretty much where you can see the coolest temperatures. Then the further south you go, see more of those mid to upper 80s across North Mississippi. Those heat and seas still bumping you up just a little bit. Might feel like you're in the low 90s just because we have more of that moisture in our air and our atmosphere. But thankfully those fall-like conditions, and well, we can't even say fall-like anymore since we're in fall, will return later on at the back half of the work week and weekend. We can see that here on the 7-day forecast. Right now, we're looking at a 40% chance of rain for your Monday, elevated just slightly for your Tuesday due to that cold front making its way through. And then Wednesday, taking a little hit around 20%, showing drier forecast for your Wednesday. And then we're seeing really dry conditions in your Thursday, Friday. But what I really want to pay attention to is your Saturday and Sunday. 80 degrees for your highs with those upper 50s coming back as your lows. That is fall weather. That is what I'm looking forward to. Just got to get through the work week first. But before we go, I want to give y'all an update on the tropics as well. We've been talking about a disturbance out in the Atlantic, disturbance number 2. So that could become the next named storm. I want to give you an update all about that coming up in 1 minute.
At Room to Room, the VIP sale's here. And for a limited time, enjoy an extra 10% off Row furniture. From classic neutrals to bold statement pieces, Row gives you modern style with timeless comfort. Don't miss the VIP sale happening now, only at Room to Room Tupelo.
You may see a teen struggling to find his way. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we see a teen gaining the confidence and skills to land his first job. Kids today need people to see their potential and help them achieve it. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we do whatever it takes to help kids succeed. Because when we see young people, we see limitless possibilities. Do you? Join us, Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures.
Well, thanks for sticking here with us at Mississippi Live Weather at 6. Taking a look at our tropics, notice not the same color as it was last time we looked, showing more confidence is increasing for this disturbance out in the Atlantic. Still off the coast of Africa, a long ways away from the United States. I mean, I wanted to frame it right so we could see what we're talking about. Can't even see Tupelo anymore. You can start seeing Mississippi all the way up here just above the next 2 days. But speaking of that, those chances have increased. So next chance of formation, or not next chance, but the chance of formation is around 50% for the next 2 days or 48 hours, and then raised to 70% for the next 7 days. So very confident that this could become the next named storm. If it does, it would be Tropical Storm Jerry making its way across the Atlantic. This is something we want to keep our eyes on. But what we tracked yesterday was that atmospheric moisture. What I want to track today is that Saharan dust. It does not like the dust. It does not like dry environments. It wants that moisture. Key that graphic that we showed you yesterday. So right now, I'll even step on this side of the screen. It is still off the coast of Africa, a long ways away from the United States. And it's down here just a little bit. You can start seeing some of that circling and counterclockwise spin, but it is ahead of that plume of dust coming across the Atlantic basin. So it is in a prime spot for development, not really stuck in the dust and getting a head start on it. It's going to avoid it. You can already see some more of a tight circulation as we continue into the work week. This is at Tuesday at 10 in the morning. So while we're still enjoying some rainfall in the United States and in North Mississippi, this is going to be still sitting out in the Atlantic Ocean, trying to get some more moisture and avoid all that dust. And as we continue tracking it out across the next work week, you can see it really becomes more and more prominent, finding that hole in the dust, not really trying to get too close to it, make sure to get very far away from it. So it does have good conditions as it continues into the Atlantic. But notice here, it starts kind of making that northerly turn. That is what we've experienced a lot this hurricane season. Very thankful for it. Most of these systems have moved its way across the Atlantic, but then they'll start turning north and then heading back across. So almost a round trip, a U-turn every time it approaches the United States. Like, I don't want to go there. We do not mind at all. So that is a good thing to see. I've been looking at models right now, and they still have it taking that northerly turn, eventually northeasterly, just making that round trip along the Atlantic. That is what we're going to keep hoping for and what we would love to see here in not only North Mississippi, but along the eastern coast here in the United States. But of course, make sure you want to stay updated with us. No better way to do it than with our app. Here's the QR code for both iOS and Android. This lets you know with notifications on when rain is coming. You'll probably get some later on tonight, especially if we have some heavier thunderstorms, some hail approaching your area. I know we've gotten great feedback on how accurate that has been, giving a good heads up before it's reached y'all. So we appreciate all the support and feedback because we would like to know what works best for y'all. But our live show schedule, still 10 o'clock is later on tonight. I think that will be a great broadcast because I think we might be able to talk about some rain showers affecting us here in North Mississippi. So y'all go out, enjoy the last little bit of y'all's weekend, come back during the 10 o'clock so we can talk about maybe some activity going on here in North Mississippi, get the latest look on what your work week looks like. And I'll see y'all back live here later on tonight at 10.